two-year initiative in Plymouth is improving how police handle mental health crisis calls.
In the last 4 years, our calls for service related to behavioral health have gone up 59%.
The Plymouth Police Department is partnering with Minnetonka Police in Hennepin County. The program pairs the departments with a shared county social worker. The goal is to connect people experiencing a mental health crisis and their families to appropriate resources to prevent future crisis situations. The program has been underway for a few weeks. The Plymouth Police Chief says he's already seeing a difference.
We're already assigning cases to, the mental health unit. They review them, they go on to the social worker. She's able then to go out and do these follow-up visits and to provide more consistent and sustainable, help that will hopefully provide better outcomes.
There are police departments in the area with mental health professionals embedded within the police departments, like Crystal and Hopkins. Brooklyn Park is expected to have a similar program in the future. Architects are drawing up plans for a new restaurant in downtown Robbinsdale. Canton Garden on West Broadway Avenue closed last month. The Bulldog will open in its space. The Bulldog currently has locations in St. Paul, downtown Minneapolis, and uptown. The restaurant group is known for American classic food and a comprehensive beer list. The owners of the restaurant group have Robbinsdale roots and say the location is a good fit. They plan to provide an experience that caters to families and people who want a casual dining experience. After an extensive renovation, the Bulldog hopes to be open in late fall. The city of Brooklyn Park is discussing how to keep affordable housing options in the city. The Economic Development Authority unanimously recommended approval this week to develop a new program that would try to preserve affordable housing in the city. Brooklyn Park, like the rest of the metro area, has seen housing prices grow. This program would work with developers and individuals on acquiring and rehabilitating rental properties that would then be rented at no more than 60% of the area's median income. That would mean a tenant would pay around $1,400 a month. That includes utilities for a one-bedroom unit. A local woman with a love for being in the outdoors has parlayed that passion into a book for children. Laura Larson is the author of Wild Mindfulness.
I'm hoping that kids are finding this to be engaging and useful, and really wanting it to inspire them to get outside and, hey, let's have a campfire tonight, let's roast marshmallows, let's go camping, Mom and Dad.
Larson spoke to students at Zanewood Elementary School in Brooklyn Park this week. She became interested in camping and other outdoor activities when she was younger. Larson believes that being outside has many positive benefits for kids.
It helps them in their creativity. It's a great boredom buster. Getting dirty isn't anything that kids should be shying away from or be ashamed of. It really helps them to connect in a certain way with nature and find out what kind of inspires them.
Larson has experience working with students too. She is also a counselor at Woodland Elementary School in Brooklyn Park. If you've been to local parades, you might have noticed the Brooklyn Park Lions drum and dance team. The children, teens, and volunteers who support them have been going strong for more than 10 years. But as reporter Sonia Goins explains, there's much more that goes into the group than you might imagine.
The Brooklyn Park Lions Drum and Dance Team is in high demand, performing at festivals in the metro and across the state. The group is known for its rhythmic beats and fancy footwork. Director Johnny Gurley says the group is more than a drum and dance team. It's a family.
We have created best friends. Moms have been best friends.
He says the nonprofit is building character and discipline.
We'll keep them out of the streets and keep them out of people's houses, and out of cars and stuff like that.
I love to dance.
Dancer Kawana McCoy says the team has given her a purpose and boosted her confidence.
I was super duper shy. It made me overcome a lot of things. I didn't expect I would be captain.
The young ladies and men are marching to a beat of their own, becoming role models in the community.
I try to be mentor to everybody that's on the team.
Colin Easley is a Brooklyn Park police cadet.
When I get sworn in, I like to branch out, into like the community, and be that officer, that everybody knows, and everybody's comfortable talking to.
Rolante Malloy works for the City of Brooklyn Park's Rex on the Go program.
They led me through things that I never thought I could get through without them.
At ease, at ease, at ease.
Meanwhile, Gurley says he hopes the team dances to the beat of success long after they leave the group.
Makes me feel good that I put a positive input on the kids' life, and hope they stay on this path of being positive.
Sonia Goins, CCX News.
They're always fun to watch. And now they are found on every continent except Antarctica. There are more than 5,000 different species, and this Saturday at Eastman Nature Center, there is an entire festival dedicated to the dragonfly.
We'll be collecting dragonflies, teaching folks how to do that, catch them out of the air. We'll be going down to the pond to look for their young nymph stage. There'll be volunteers to help with that. We'll have a big tent. You can go inside and have dragonflies fly around you and learn how to identify them, learn why they are important to help us understand the water quality in Minnesota.
Dragonflies have been the subject of myth and lore. Actually, the English term dragonfly is believed to come from the Romanian language, where the word for dragonfly translates to devil's horse or devil's fly. Dragonflies will neither sting nor bite you.
If you get bitten by a dragonfly, you were working hard to get bitten by a dragonfly. You got to be poking them in the mouth. They are harmless.
Dragonfly Fest runs from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. this Saturday at Eastman Nature Center. No registration is needed, and the cost is $5 to attend. Find out more on our website.
A Cooper High School graduate and St. Paul Saint star for the past season and a half is back with a major league organization. Robbinsdale native Max Murphy was signed by the Arizona Diamondbacks this week and assigned to their high-class A team in Visalia, California. The 26-year-old Murphy played for the St. Paul Saints since the beginning of the 2018 season. He was drafted by the Minnesota Twins in 2014 and spent 4 seasons in that organization. For the Saints this summer, Murphy was hitting .343 with 17 home runs and 43 runs batted in just 50 games. He led or was among the leaders in the American Association in several offensive categories. Visalia is 15-12 in the California Summer League this summer. The Target USA Cup Youth Soccer Tournament is continuing through Saturday at the many fields of the National Sports Center in Blaine. Several local teams are in pool play through Thursday, including the Maplebrook Storm 16 and under boys team in red playing in the Silver Division. White Bear Lake scores in the first half here on Justin Wussler's goal to lead it 1-0. The Storm tied up just before halftime when Cale Sandberg shot caroms off the crossbar, then off the back of the goalie and into the net. The match is tied at 1. Maplebrook wins it late. Brian Arias drives a long shot into the back of the White Bear Lake net in the second half. Maplebrook wins 2-1. Playoff rounds in most age brackets begin Friday morning. Figuring out the moods of fish may be not as difficult as it sounds. Terry Tuma explains in this week's CCX Sports Fishing Tip.
I so often make many comments about moods of fish, you know, negative, the positive, the neutral moods of these fish at seminars right here on Channel 12, CCX Media, and also radio and wherever it may be, are answering just questions. And we really need to understand the mood of these fish before we tie on our lures, before we make that first cast or that jigging or whatever it may be. And you can tell these moods by understanding weather conditions, which is a big factor, fishing pressure and the time of the year. And these weather conditions can vary with fronts coming through, as we are seeing this year, many of them. But you can tell a mood if a negative fish is just sort of bumping a lure, just sort of nipping at a bait. That's going to be a tougher bite. Neutral fish are, generally speaking, are going to be lightly mouthing a crankbait. It's going to be just picking up a plastic and dropping it. That's bass fishing, of course, and dropping it after a few feet. And the aggressive fish are going to be the ones that are going to really, shall we say, strike hard, sort of viciously with crankbaits, with plastic, so forth. You're definitely going to know that these fish are aggressive. But also, too, there's what we call a state of readiness, where these fish are not feeding, but what they're doing, they're moving up to feed, and these fish are going to bite. Match the size of the baits, the techniques that we're using, the presentation, and that's going to really help us catch much more fish. Understand moods, and you'll be much more successful on any body of water, including ice fishing.
And that's all for sports. Shannon, back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Ford Community Theater is celebrating 21 years in the West Metro this summer with their production of the classic The Aadams Family.
I feel like a lot of people hear Aadams Family, and if anybody knows about the Aadams Family, they just think that it's dark humor, you know, morbid, violent death, but it is so much more than that. The music is incredible. It literally gets stuck in my head. It gets me like dancing to myself.
The theatrical version of The Aadams Family takes place when Wednesday is grown up and engaged to a normal boy to be married. Things get crazy during a dinner the Aadams Family hosts for the young couple. It's the first time when both families get to meet each other.
It's just like they say, mysterious, spooky, creepy, ooky, but it's a lot of fun.
The Aadams Family is on stage at Orono High School Auditorium through July 28th, and we'll have ticket and showtime information posted on our website, ccxmedia.org.